get the all messages going.
Well, yeah, sort of a low-key night
Yeah. We didn't really know what we were doing until like half an hour ago.
after work and stuff. I don't know.
So.
Pulled out some stuff which I may have talked about once before on the channel, but I find it sort of interesting and old and maybe of interest to some of you.
And I'm working on this. So.
Yeah. Had an exciting night last night.
Mm-hmm. I shared the clip of when Broly realized. Oh shoot! I forgot to turn this down. I shared the. There we go. Hello, Dragonfang Dan. What are we doing tonight?
Well, aside from
me gonna be probably doing this,
putting little stones on paper.
Yeah.
Or plastic bits. I've got a bunch of packs from an old Decipher card games that I was just going to go through, talk about some of the games. They had a bunch of games. They had some real successes and some real misses, and a few in between. But it was quite the interesting time for collectible card games back in the 90s. Magic came out in 1993, and they were the king of the hill for a while, but there were other contenders. Long before Pokemon came out, or Yu-Gi-Oh, that took a while to show up on the scene too. But I remember back in 1994.
A little bit of history with the TCG, CCGs.
We've opened a lot of Star Trek on here, so I don't actually have any loose packs handy at the moment. But Decipher came out with their Star Trek customizable card game. So people think it's more like a board game in card form. It does a good job of emulating sort of the Star Trek The Next Generation episodes.
My wife got me one of those dot projects as a Christmas gift. I made a custom one, like the Lugia V Altart. Ooh.
That sounds nice.
So custom, you mean like you put it together yourself? I couldn't be able to do that. I need the numbers and the letters and the colors where they go. But that sounds like it'd be cool.
Yeah, Decipher's Star Trek customizable card game, which lasted for many years. They eventually added, non-Next Generation franchises as well, like the original series, Deep Space Nine,
Hi, Ryan,
Voyager. They did quite well with that. It was routinely in the sort of top 4 or 5 card games out there. And it was the 1994 was very earlier than most. Magic came out in 1993. The big surge in new card games hitting the market, though, was in 95.
Oh, okay.
And in 96.
Yeah, I think I knew you could do that because you can get.
They were a fairly early one, too.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. He's able to submit a picture and it comes pre-numbered.
Oh, nice.
So I've seen that where people do that with their family pictures, too. That would be neat, actually.
That could be. Decipher's next big hit, and biggest hit for a long time, was the Star Wars customizable card game. Now this is a Jabba's Palace pack. It wasn't one of the first sets. It came out in 1995 with Premiere. Had black bordered and white bordered, a bunch of different products. They moved into New Hope, and then basically moved through the films from there. So Premiere and New Hope were based around Episode 4. Then Hoth and Cloud City. No, sorry, Hoth and Dagobah and Cloud City were based off of the Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. And then Jabba's Palace came out, and that was the start of Return of the Jedi. They also did a special edition, which revisited all the films, but especially the first one, Episode 4, at the time. The prequel hadn't released yet. And then after Jabba's Palace, they did Endor and Death Star 2 to round out Return of the Jedi. And around that time is when Episode 1 released. It hit the theaters. And so they already had the Star Wars license. They kept making sets for that. So they made Coruscant, and Theed Palace and Tatooine for episode 1. So there's quite a few sets and products, and Star Wars was their biggest game for a long time. It actually rivaled Magic the Gathering. I think there was one time where it even topped Magic the Gathering in terms of sales and stuff in Scry Magazine for a month or two.
When we find those Scry magazines, we can show everybody.
Yeah. I know very little about the old card games. I bet the Star Wars ones could be pretty collectible. Oh, for sure. Jabba's Palace here is probably the cheapest booster pack you can still find kicking around. It was an interesting set. It had a lot of aliens. A lot of the trouble with the earliest sets was it was hard enough to find actual character cards with ability in packs. Jabba's Palace fixed that problem. It's chock full of all kinds of characters, but they're all mostly, aliens from around Tatooine and Jabba's Palace. So they're not as interesting. There's not as many big characters in it. But it does have its advantages that way. You can still find packs of Premier that aren't too expensive, especially the white bordered. As I recall, Cloud City is not too bad either. Maybe New Hope. But a lot of the other sets are really crept up in value. As I recall, Jabba's Palace packs like this, you're lucky if you can find them in the sort of $5 to $7 range now. Which is a little bit more than they were when they were new. And like I said, that's the cheapest of the sets.
We should bring up...
They had other sets that they made using the Star Wars license before they lost it. They had Young Jedi, which they made to be a card game based around episode 1. So again, this is later in the run, before they lost the license. But based off of episode 1 stuff. This is their first set, The Menace of Darth Maul. I forget how many sets there were for this, 4 or 5 at least. And it did fairly well. It was sort of one of their more moderate successes. It actually was one of their games that did well enough to warrant a Reflections set. Occasionally when they had sets, games that had been going on for a number of sets, and they had some extra back product, foils weren't really a thing in the early days of collectible card games. They came out later. So they would make a Reflections set, and every Reflections pack included a foil, reprints of popular cards from the previous sets, typically. Some of the later Reflections sets also included new cards for the release, and then a bunch of random cards from all their previous sets and packs. So,
hey, Tank.
Other than the big 3 sets, the Star Wars, the Star Trek, and later Lord of the Rings, Young Jedi was the only other game that they had enough success with, I guess you'd say, to warrant a Reflections release. So they did come out with a Reflections set for Young Jedi.
Sorry,
I've never had a pack.
Did you say what Reflections is?
Yeah, I just described that.
Okay, sorry, I was distracted by my art.
They had 7 Reflections sets released. 3 of them were for the Star Wars collectible card game. They did 3 different versions for that. They had 2 for Star Trek, 1 for the first edition, and then when they rebooted it a little while later and simplified the rules, they made a second Star Trek Reflections for the reboot. They also did 1 for Lord of the Rings, and they did 1 for the Young Jedi. So those are the 7 Reflections sets that they did. Since I'm talking about the big 3 before we get into these lesser known ones, they also had, after they lost the license for Star Wars, which was 2001, was right around the time that Lord of the Rings, the first film, The Fellowship of the Ring, was scheduled to come out. And they negotiated with rights to do promotions for the film. So these cards, well, the Star Trek and the Star Wars too, they're property-based. So Star Trek was based off of initially Next Generation episodes, then they incorporated the other TV series, and eventually some of the films. First Contact came out in that window too, so they had a whole set based around First Contact. But with Decipher, they had this all planned out and scheduled. I should have grabbed the little promo card. That would.
Where is it?
It's in the binder.
I don't know where that is.
So they had basically 3 sets for each film. Before the film released, they would come out with a base set. So this is a Fellowship of the Ring pack. And then the movie would come out shortly after. And then they had the Mines of Moria and Realms of the Elf Lords that rounded out some extra stuff that they didn't want to spoil in the film while they were promoting it with the first set, and extra mechanics. And so that would be for the first film. And then the second one, The Two Towers, they released the base set packs just before that movie came out. And then again followed it up with the Battle of Helm's Deep and Edge of Fangorn later in the year. And then likewise with The Return of the King. You got the base set just before the film came out, and then the Siege of Gondor and Mount Doom the following year. Then they were sort of in a bit of a pickle because they also worked in Reflections during the Return of the King block at that time. So there were no more films coming out. It was going to be a long time before the Hobbit movies, which that was just wild speculation at that point. So they tried rebooting the game, and again,
hey, Founder,
tweaked the rules. So that was helpful. But
Founder said hi.
Hi, Founder. Thanks for coming out. So yeah, let's see, probably easier if I flip this momentarily, so we can show some stuff more easily than me holding up things a pack at a time. All right, let's put that back there. This was my little Lord of the Rings project box that I was putting together about, a year and a half ago. So, you had Fellowship of the Ring, Mines of Moria, and then Realms of the Elf Lords. And I've got a few more Fellowship packs for the first stack. Then Two Towers came out, so you had the Two Towers base set. Oops, these ones I tried to remove from price stickers. Battle of Helm's Deep. They didn't come off the smoothest.
The Lord of the Rings, says Founder.
And Edge of Fangorn. And then more Two Towers packs.
That's one that you made up of just different, like a few packs from different ones?
Yeah. And this is all from before the reboot. Well, mainly. And you had Return of the King. Siege of Gondor. After Siege of Gondor is when they had the Reflections. I don't have any Reflections packs. They're a little bit more expensive and trickier to find, but I'd like to pick up one or two one day. Then Mount Doom came out, and that wrapped up the original movie block. Then they did a reset, and they changed how the site rules work and a few other things. And so you made Shadows, Black Rider, and Bloodlines, which again is a little bit more expensive, so I don't have a pack of Bloodlines. I wouldn't mind adding one of those either. But, yeah, again, they're keeping up a little bit more expensive. And they did a second, this would be, I guess, focusing more sort of on redoing the Fellowship of the Ring. Then the second batch were the Hunters. Saruman, something Saruman.
I don't remember.
I forget. And then Deceit and Treachery, which had Gollum on the pack art. Those last three are very, very rare now. Very expensive and hard to find packs for, so I'm not planning on getting those anytime soon. But I've got a nice little selection here of the products they came out with, especially through the early days. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this yet. I remember seeing a guy who did Star Wars, Decipher Star Wars packs, where he would roll a dice to pick a random set to open a pack from for shorts. And he went through it. I think he did about 100 different packs from it. All the different Star Wars sets, basically, were in his randomizer. So I might try something like that similar. Maybe I'll just open it one day. I don't know. Never played Lord of the Rings card game, but I have both the standard and extended edition movies, as well as the board game. Yeah, I've got a couple of board games. One of them predates the films. And then I've got Lord of the Rings Risk. And I had something else.
chess
But yeah.
game, don't you?
But yeah, these were the big three for Decipher. There's Star Wars, Star Trek, and Lord of the Rings were their three most successful games, the games that made them probably their most money, I'd imagine. Although I heard they paid through the nose for the Star Wars license. So it wasn't as profitable for them as, say, Lord of the Rings was. But, yeah. And Star Trek has the unique success of being their longest running. Like I said, it started in 94 before even Star Wars did. And it ran through till 2002, so 9 whole years on the first edition, and then they rebooted it into a second edition, and I think that came out with sets until around 2007, which is sadly when Decipher went bankrupt. Unfortunately, they ran into some issues with their owners embezzling funds and things. It was never a good look. So yeah, but they had the other sets here. For Star Wars. Ooh, look at that! You could get points. Young Jedi points. Save the wrapper.
Ooh.
11 cards. Special refractor foil playing cards. Randomly inserted 1 in every 99 cards. Okay, so if it's 1 in 99 cards, and this is was it a 10 card pack? 11 card pack. So that's 1 in every 9 packs, I guess. You might get a foil card in these ones. This was perhaps their biggest flop. They did a whole Austin Powers based on the second movie, not even the first movie, The Spy Who Shagged Me card game. They promoted this heavily. They went out and bought the car from the film and used it to drive around to, Comic Cons and whatever to promote the game. And yeah, you can still find this dirt cheap. Nobody was that, like, who is this for? Like,
I don't even know.
Yeah, like little kids might be interested if they're like 13, 14-year-old boys.
Maybe movie.
But they're not gonna.
I don't know. I watched the movies. I wasn't that into them.
I found the first one interesting, but
they're weird.
They were weird and put a little bit too much emphasis on. Well, in terms of my understanding, I just spent more looking at the theme of it was interesting, but some of the specific portrayals, I think they went sideways on. But anyway, this was, as a product, a failure. However, the amount of effort they put into the marketing push for this, I think I heard, helped them land the contract to get the Lord of the Rings license. So, and again, you can see here, doing licensed stuff was their bread and butter. They didn't have very many original IPs. Here's another fairly early one of theirs that didn't do so well. I think they'd only had the 3 sets here. Was Mega Man. They had Power Up, Grand Prix, and Grave. And, yeah. It's still got a bit of a following, but they're still around, not so expensive. The prices, like I said, on Star Wars have crept up heavily now. Lord of the Rings is currently going through an increase that I think is going to be similar. Even the cheapest packs of this now is probably 2 towers, and those will run $4 or $5 a pack US. They're not so easy to find anymore, and the rarer sets are getting up well above that. I think Return of the King is somewhere between $15 and $20 a pack now. And the ones that I don't have, like the rare ones towards the end, they can get up to over $100 a pack easily. So, Star Trek, some of their stuff, some of the sets, about half the sets are still really cheap, cheaper than they were for MSRP when the games came out. But there's a couple that are around MSRP, but there's a bunch that are starting to climb now too. The more expensive sets for Star Trek would be the final set that came out in boosters, the motion picture, some of their special release sets that was sort of a box set thing. Also, Holodeck Adventure. The really popular sets that during their heyday were sort of the Deep Space Nine, the Dominion, and Blaze of Glory was the only set other than Reflections that had foils in it. So for Star Trek, so that one really went up in price too, but not as much. Like if I had to rank them, I'd say Star Wars was by far the most expensive set that they made for products. Then Lord of the Rings, then Star Trek. Mega Man, like I said, only 3 sets. So it was a moderately successful product, enough to keep going for a little while, but not as much as some of the others. Then we had another one that had a lot of fans. It was integrated with sort of computer virtual reality type ideas. Dot hack / enemy was an anime series that it was based around. They had 5 sets for this. I've only got packs for 3 of them, but I do believe they came out with 5 different sets. And so this one lasted a while too and had tournaments of things going on. So it was another one of their more moderate successes. And then, this is an interesting one. Wars. Wars is what happened with, they took their Star Wars engine, the rules system they had for the Star Wars CCG, after they lost the license, which had been their most successful product, but they lost the Star Wars license after 2001, when they came out with the Episode 1 sets. I think Theed Palace was the last one to release. They couldn't produce any more cards, sell any more cards for that game. So they took the basic engine, a few minor tweaks, and put their own story behind it, basically. So Incursion was the first sort of base set, and then Nowhere to Hide was an expansion. And that's about as far as it got. It didn't take off the way they'd hoped. They had hopes for it because the basic gameplay engine for Star Wars was quite strong. You didn't need any sort of dice or life counters to keep track of your score. It was all based off your deck. So when you deck ran out of cards, you lost the game. It was fairly fun and interactive for the most part. So it had a lot of strengths, but unfortunately, not enough to keep going. They did have some others too that I don't have any packs for. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I know they did another Star Wars themed one called Jedi Knight. And there was at least something else too that I'm forgetting. But yeah, Decipher was quite a popular and successful game maker back in the day. And they had a good run for sure. This is another interesting oddity for the Lord of the Rings side. These draft packs, 29 additional game cards. So the idea with these was you would run these with the regular boosters. So this is for Tower Block. They had one for Fellowship Block as well. So you would get 3 booster packs. So it could be 3 Two Towers packs, or 2 Two Towers and a Siege of Gondor and a Battle of Helm's Deep, rather. Or one of each, a Two Towers, and Fanghorn and Battle of Helm's Deep. You would open those up. You would add to your card pool whatever's in your draft pack, and then everyone would have access to a basic line of sights and a ring bearer and ring card, and then you would build your deck for draft with those. So they're interesting. Each one has 1 random rare in it. You can't get foils in these. Most of these packs had a foil in 1 in every 6 packs. So in a box of 36 packs, you'd average 6 foils. in a box. Could be 5, could be 7. It all depends on randomization, but 6 was the average. No foils in the draft packs. Just mainly in Two Towers, I think it was actually all commons except for one random rare. And I don't think that was the case though for Fellowship. I think there was a few choice uncommons included in Fellowship as well. So they're a little harder to find now. I've got 4 of these left. One day I'd like to refresh my stock on these. They are interesting, but they're actually
Where do you get those ones
fairly cheap to find too in some regards. Category 1 has them. Hills has them. The boxes, you get 12 of these big thick packs in a little box for usually, I think anywhere from $35 to $45 depending on the place. They are neat oddity anyway. So yeah, just a little sort of, I guess, history lesson about Decipher and the different products that they came out with. Some interesting stuff. Some of these games I'm very familiar with. Some of them I've been learning a lot about, and some of them I've barely touched. So, one day maybe I'll learn and get a chance to play some of these. It's interesting because as a kid, one of my favorite video games was Mega Man. And, yeah, I think I'd heard about the Mega Man card game, but I never saw it anywhere when I was growing up. So, I never even got an opportunity really to learn to play it. And now it just hasn't been a priority recently, but who knows? Maybe if there's a lot of demand, it'll be worth figuring out one of these days. But for now, I've got a few samples here.
Oops.
Oops, how's your bead art going?
It's going. The stupid wax thingies keep disappearing.
It's interesting too. That was another odd thing with this Trouble with Tribbles set. Is it was the only set that had multiple different pack arts. So you got a little picture there. If you found the booster packs for Trouble with Tribbles, you had McCoy, Kirk, Uhura, Spock, Worf, and Odo pack arts. And it shows you there the mix of the characters. Most of the sets were sort of based around one series, but this was sort of a crossover one, so it had Deep Space Nine and the original series characters in it. And this is the set that introduced the original series characters. They were also in Mirror Mirror heavily.
Ow.
Yeah. I've got a few more sealed things for Star Wars. So maybe around May the 4th or something, we can do a video
that'd be fun.
Building some decks out of it. Because I've got a couple of Premier starter decks and a little bit of Cloud City, as well as these 2 Jabba's Palace packs to work with. So that could be fun. I don't know. I'd like to add again to this. Some of these, I opened a box of 2 Towers and opened most of the packs, but I kept 6 of the packs out of a fresh box that I'd opened. A lot of these packs I collected just single packs from people, which makes them more likely to be searched. So they can be weighed, I've heard, to tell if there's a foil in it. So chances of finding foils, if you're buying single packs, it goes down somewhat depending on whether someone might have searched them or not. But I know for the 2 Towers box that I opened, I pulled 4 foils out of the box.
Hey, Jensen.
And 6 packs that I saved unopened. So if it was an average box, there could still be 2 foils in those 6 2 Tower packs. Don't know about for the rest, but like I said, I would like to add to this one day at least 1 Bloodlines pack and maybe a couple of Reflections packs, just to round out, that way I'd have the first movie block represented entirely. Right now I'm just missing Reflections, and then I'd have the first 3 sets for the reboot, whereas now I just have the first 2. So, waves.
Yeah.
Hi. Waving. Waves of
I think just saying it's waving at you.
Might be. Or it could be different waves that the product came out in if he was commenting. I forget which, when that popped up, which product I was talking about. But yeah, Star Trek has always been a favorite property of mine, and I enjoyed the game from way back when. I've got a couple of decks, my Klingon and my
Saw the awesome
Romulan
Powers
decks.
pack and decided to click in.
Yeah.
Did we pick that up at Wayne's?
No, actually, this was, I think I picked this up with a lot of these other more obscure packs from Category 1 games, just because I wanted some samples of their less well-known games, and they happen to have a bunch there, so.
I wonder if we should...
This one was, like I said, Young Jedi was actually fairly well-known. I remember seeing that around quite a bit. But these other ones, Dot Hack and Mega Man and Wars I heard about, Austin Powers I saw here and there, but again, it got a lot of promotion. It was in the magazine, Scry magazine and stuff, but excuse me, never got to play it.
It felt like a game made for a party game style with a single deck, but forced into a CCG.
Yeah, kinda. A lot of their games had interesting mechanics. Like I said, Star Trek was sort of thought of as, it resembled more a board game than a collectible card game. So, but these were the early days of innovation in the space for collectible card games and competition. And like I said, Decipher and Wizards of the Coast were the two powerhouses of the 90s. They really went toe-to-toe with a lot of their releases. Most scries, when they came out, you would have MTG at the top, Star Wars second, most of the time. Then a little further down the list, you'd have Star Trek. You would have things like BattleTech, which Wizards of the Coast came out with. Harry Potter turned up, just around the year 2000. Lord of the Rings took over when they lost Star Wars, but I don't think it ever got quite the overall success Star Wars did, but it was going very strong for a while.
Guardians
was big for a while. Early on, before they got Lord of the Rings contract, there was another game by Iron Crown Enterprises. What was it called? Was it just called Middle Earth? I think so. Middle Earth, the Wizards was the base set, and then they came out with the Dragons and the other sets. That one was popular for a while. I think I got a scry that goes over the top 50 card games around the year 2000, and that one squeaked into the top 10. And that was before this one came out. So, yeah, Guardians was big for a while. When Pokemon hit, obviously it was huge, and it became, a top 2 or so game very quickly.
I wish I was into Pokemon when it came out. Can you imagine the stuff I would have today?
Well, who knows? A lot of the early stuff isn't all that impressive. It's just hard to find. So.
No, but I would have had it in a box somewhere, and then I would have gone to it later. And
I remember.
If it survived my parents' fire.
I remember when that came out and people were collecting, mainly trying to get their hands on Charizards. It was the big thing.
That would have been me.
Let's put this back.
I don't think I would have appreciated the art as much, though, at the time.
Picked up a few boosters and a starter, then traded it for a similar amount of Doomtown. Sadly, I had a shiny Charizard in that chunk of first edition. Ooh.
That'd be nice.
It would have been nice, yeah. I remember Doomtown. I don't remember it taking off. I remember Doom Trooper, I think, as another early card game. That one, I think you could get like the whole set a couple times over in a booster box. It was a pretty small set. It was a fun little game. But very lopsided. Like whoever got the biggest one was the biggest character in play basically won with Doom Trooper. Doomtown was it's one of those games that certain popular with certain groups. Rage was another one that was somewhat popular, in a certain group. Wyvern, again, you get the famous Fallen Empires from Magic the Gathering had some misprints with wyvern backs on some of their cards. It was an interesting time. The mid to late 90s, a lot of innovation in the card games, and I really think that when Decipher went under around 2007 was when the collectible card game stagnated, collectible card game market. Like, it became, from that point on, mainly just Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, the big three, and that was it. You didn't get a whole lot of new games coming out from that point onward. Not that did much anyway, up until maybe a few years ago. And now, lately, there's been an explosion in new card games hitting the market. You've got Star Wars Unlimited, you've got Lorcana, you've got the One Piece, and the what's that other one again? Anyway, there's been a bunch of them over the last few years that have started to come out, so we're starting to see more innovation and development. But yeah, another late one that came out, I would say after 2000, as with Lord of the Rings, was the Versus system game, which I used to play a fair bit. Bandai was the only other one, and those were really niche games. Yeah, Bandai had a few, didn't they? Xenophile was popular for a little while. Yeah, I remember there was like a Hercules game. I forget what company did that one, but yeah, a lot of them were licensed. There were very few that really, where the property was controlled by the maker of the game. Like Magic the Gathering, it was their own IP. Pokemon initially licensed out to Wizards and then started producing it themselves. And so they had control of the IP themselves from that point on. Hercules was Arc System by Wizards of the Coast. Okay, yeah. Compatible with Xena, and yeah. Yeah, I remember that it was compatible with the Xena cards, and I forget C23, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It was another Wizards of the Coast product, because like I said, they had a few between Magic and Battletech and Pokemon initially, and Harry Potter, and they went through a whole bunch of different card games as well. It was Jim Lee's newest comic. Oh, nice. I wasn't heavily into comic books. I had some old Batman ones and things
something that
one of my cousins gave me.
Could do too
and I like the X-Men.
Go through those comics that that Jody gave you.
Oh, maybe. I don't know as much about those either.
I don't know. We could even give one away. The kids aren't really that interested.
Oh, maybe.
Let's do a comic book giveaway one day.
I used to collect the old Marvel cards, Series 1, Series 2, the X-Men cards. Had whole sets collected of those before collectible card games were ever a thing. Overpower, that was another old card game.
Clout
that
Fantasy,
one was
a weird game.
Was it Skybox? It was just one of those other. Wizards of the Coast put out Simpsons and Looney Tunes. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, Clout Fantasy is a weird game. CCG2, both were based on the same concept. Yeah, I still see references to the Simpsons one more often, but yeah, those were wild times. I still like to look through my old Scrap magazines when I get a chance from time to time. Let's see if I had to. Excuse me.
You gonna open something?
I don't know. I don't know if it's worth opening any of these or not. I don't have enough.
And even Monty Python and the Holy Grail got a game. Wink.
Yeah, they sure did.
Yeah.
And that
I don't know why you're bringing that one up.
That's actually an interesting point too, because that one got an expansion. What would they call it now? But it came out as a board game, basically. They re-released Monty Python and the Holy Grail card game as a board game in a box set. So you just got the whole set in a box. I will taunt you a second time. That's the name of it, right? And they added some new cards, and they changed the formatting a little bit on a lot of the older ones. And yeah, it's an interesting way to do it, to have a second release. I keep thinking it might be neat to hunt down a set of that one of these days. Add to my collection.
Which letter or number I should
It
go.
was starters only, and there were 4 possible precons. Well, there you go.
Oh,
I knew it was some. I knew it was some sort of thing where you could just buy the set as it was. It wasn't randomized packs. Couldn't tell which was which when you bought it. Okay. Well, I suppose that makes sense then.
Which number should I do next, or letter?
I don't know.
R's.
What's close to what you're working on?
There's so much. I'm kind of working from the top down.
Could do N's or J's or
What do you guys
twos
think?
or I don't know.
Do you like my picture so far? I love cardinals. I think they're so pretty. Sorry, I'm just interrupting with my diamond art.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with the R.
But yeah, every one of these Decipher games was licensed from another company or film or something, except for Wars, when they tried taking their popular Star Wars engine and just putting their own property on it. And it was a neat little story idea. My brother recently got some of the starters when we tried playing. They constructed, basically you're battling around the solar system, and there's different sort of clans or groups, factions, but yeah, it never really took off and never got more than a second set. Yeah, it's not a bad game. Like I said, it's the same basic engine, so it plays very similarly to Star Wars, and that was a popular game. So it's not bad for playing, and it's still fairly cheap. Ooh, look at that! Is this
what?
The seal at the top of that
Ooh.
pack is not
sealed fully.
I think it still is down here. It's just the packaging's coming loose at the top. Oh well, it's what you get when you stuff a bunch of packs in a box, I suppose. Yeah, but Wars is not a bad game, and I've tried it now, and I wouldn't mind trying it some more, for sure. And again, with these, they were, by this time, incorporating foils in packs. Where are we? Foil, subset, and booster packs. 1 in 7 packs for these, as opposed to 1 in 6 for Lord of the Rings.
Do you have a plan for Monday's stream yet, or?
I've got some ideas, but
because Mondays are Magic Night.
Yeah, I know Mondays are Magic Night. But I need to either find someone to do a challenge with. It's a little bit early to do my idea of 2024 sort of recap of the different sets that came out and what I thought of them or what my experiences of them were, since I wasn't really heavily into the game. It was just sort of
there is a
after Lord of the Rings stuff.
You could review.
Well, that would be sort of part of it, because that's got at least a pack or 2 from a bunch of the sets that came out this year in it.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's one thing. I could even do the it doesn't have any of the Duskmourn, so I could even do the Duskmourn box alongside one of those tins.
Oh, yeah.
That would cover another sets from this year. I don't know. I might do something like that if I can't find a challenger.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather play some Magic than talk about it or stuff, or like open seal packs. You could talk about how MTG's damage assignment just went back to their they're constantly tweaking. Well, not constantly. They do rule changes every so often, and sometimes they go back and forth. Honestly, I think the biggest problem they need to fix right now is their legend rule. It's gotten to the point where it's just ridiculous and doesn't make any sense, and that's why the One Ring has become such a big problem, is because their legend rule doesn't make any sense. If it was like it used to be, and there was just one copy of the One Ring in play, and that's it, any other ones that entered play just died.
I've not played for 10 years except casually. That's pretty much
it wouldn't be a problem.
You weren't collecting for about 10 years because...
Welcome, Krippendorf.
Hey, Krippendorf!
Yeah, I've played very seldomly over the last 10 years, but I picked up some of the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth because I like the theme. Masks era Legends rule worked well. Yeah. Like I said, they've changed the rules on that a few times too, but
I'm just wondering, are you showing any more of that stuff? Or?
Well, I've already it's all right here.
Yeah.
I've
you could still talk and you could show my art.
If there was anything that really stood out to people and they absolutely wanted to see opened, like I said, most of this lesser known stuff is fairly cheap, so I could probably find replacements if people absolutely wanted to see what was inside these. But
yeah, well, if anybody wants to see him open something, let us know. Otherwise, while he's talking, you can look at me.
I just like having a couple of samples, so it's sort of the same thing I have with the Lord of the Rings box. There is just samples of the different sets. This is samples of some of the different games, so that's why I kind of had that. But yeah, I played Magic the Gathering starting at let's see. Oh, Homelands was the first set to come out after I started playing, so I think Ice Age was recently released. So Ice Age in 4th edition. Fallen Empires obviously was still easy to find. Chronicles was out around that time too. And I kept up with it, sometimes less, sometimes more, up through Innistrad, Block, and Return to Ravnica, I think, was the last set that I actually bought any amount of before I took a long hiatus. I might have picked up the odd dual deck or something in there. And then Tales of Middle-earth walked away at the same time as me as well. Okay.
What was... Okay.
Well, almost the same time as me. I started in the fall of Revised. Okay. Well, there were people in my area. Revised in the Dark were sets that were around to be traded with. So I did pick up a fair amount of Revised cards. But it was very hard to find packs. The price was starting to creep up by the time I started. There weren't a lot of them. I picked up a couple.
We slowed down a lot when we started to have kids.
Yeah. I was a borrower where you played on concrete during recess. Ah, yes. I remember most of my recess games outside tended to be marbles. Inside, I did set up in high school a teacher who let us do sort of games at lunch hour, and we played Magic the Gathering and maybe Star Wars and some of the other popular games at that time in Mr. Potter's English classroom. Actually,
Mr. Potter.
Yes, that was one of the more well-known teachers. He was old and getting close to retirement and didn't much care about what the curriculum said he was supposed to teach. He was going to teach what he'd always taught. So we always got a healthy dose of vocabulary stuff, and there was always Shakespeare, and yeah. And he wasn't afraid to ridicule students. What? You didn't get your, vocabulary lesson done for today? When it's your turn to give a word and you don't have it, somebody didn't do their work. Everybody point and laugh.
I would not have been okay with that.
Yeah, well,
my mom would not have been okay.
It was lighthearted enough, and everybody took it in stride back in those days. So, MTG and a bit of Doomtown. I played about a dozen different card games myself, but some of them, I put very little money or effort into, and Star Trek was one of those. I built my first Star Trek deck right out of the common bin at my local card store. Pokemon was the same. I went to the common bin and built a Pokemon deck or two just out of the common bin, basically, with a few uncommons. I think I liked the Butterfree Metapod Caterpie tree because Butterfree was an uncommon and Metapod and Caterpie were common, so I could actually get up to a stage 3.
I stole some of those from you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it was a fun time. Like I said, there was lots of stuff around there. And a lot of trading. Like, the few Pokemon rares that I have from back in the day were ones that I picked up just as to equalize trades. I was working for other games. I didn't open much originally of Premier Star Trek. But I picked up like a Beverly Crusher in trade. You know, it was a very useful card for me for a long time. A few other things too. I did open some Star Wars. I had good luck with New Hope. I'd opened like 3 Chewbacca's, and I managed to trade one of them for like a white bordered Obi-Wan Kenobi, and build up my collection a little bit that way.
You want to put it back on your face to talk again.
My face is not that interesting. Watching your iPad sort of giving us a double, triple type
Oh,
effect
I didn't realize
thing.
my iPad was in there.
That's probably not a good idea.
Sorry. I didn't realize my iPad was in there in the shot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I quit Pokemon because it was similar to Magic but felt like a boxing match instead of a war. Yeah. Magic definitely had... It was a simple enough game to learn, but there was a lot of different levels and strategies you could take with it. And a lot of games just don't have that, the breadth of strategies. Yeah, neat to see the delay on the iPad, I bet.
I have the iPad up just so I can see chat in case chat freezes on the phone.
Yeah.
And also if I need to comment and stuff, then I can do that on my iPad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, Monday we'll do something for Magic. Thursday is Pokemon Day. And Thursday is also gonna be my birthday stream. We're gonna be opening some Hidden Fates, Shining Fates, and Paldean Fates. And then we're also doing the Secret Santa stream, my part of the Secret Santa collaboration. Thank you, Jensen.
Should probably have a pack with actual Mega Man on it so that it's not, you know, some random enemy that people don't know who it is. Not that anyone knows who Mega Man is either. It's funny. Back about, 10 years ago? Maybe, no, more than that. Oh boy, time flies. So, probably 15 years ago, I dressed up one year in a costume as Mega Man, the Blue Bomber, and nobody knew who it was. You know, I was in a school and all these little kids, and none of them had ever heard of Mega Man. So.
Who's that?
Who's who?
Mega Man.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a video game character from back in the NES days. There was it was one of the more popular games. There was a whole series of them. Mega Man. Oh, which one did they get to the Super Nintendo? It was probably at least 6 games.
It will be fun, Dragon Fang Dan. I'm looking forward to it. The Hidden Fates ETB was a gift to myself, and I've always wanted to
Mega
kind
Man
of
10.
do
that was well
the 3 Fates
yeah.
ETBs.
By then they were well off the NES though. By the time they got to Mega Man X, that was well past the NES.
You're welcome, founder.
Yeah, well, same difference, not 10x. Roman numerals, it's a thing. Yep. I'm pretty sure it was the 10th Mega Man game, so.
It was a different storyline.
Yeah. Well.
Yes, I think that was Abrams.
Is that the one that these ones were based off of? Was the X version? I forget now. He does have a different look to him than.
I like it. I think it's cute.
Yeah.
And it's very huggable.
Is Ezra sleepy or still playing?
He's still playing.
Okay.
No mention of foils in these, eh? Don't think so.
I think those are from animated series.
Oh, probably. I don't doubt you. Like I said, this is a game that I picked up a few packs out of interest, but I have no actual knowledge of myself. I haven't researched it or tried to play it to any extent yet. Maybe one day. And of course, now Mega Man is in Super Smash Brothers, so, you know.
Those ones are based on the cartoons, says Ryan.
Yeah. I shouldn't be surprised. Man, this little niggling cough just won't go away entirely.
Take a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, no.
If I start getting a niggly cough, like a little tingly, whatever, that's what I do. And more often than not, it just enough to coat my
Definitely
throat.
not when I'm in the middle of a set at work. That's not a good idea. Anyway.
Just enough to coat your throat. I don't recommend drinking it a lot.
When you go face cam again, can you explain what Secret Santa is and what the objective is?
Okay.
Do I have any interest in the Xenophile CCG? The second edition of the reskin is cheap right now. I've heard of it, but it never was one that really interested me. To me, I probably wrongly associated it with the Xenomorphs from the Alien series. And again, the Alien movies were never something that I really got into myself.
Oh, sorry.
Let's just stack these up then if we're not showing them.
Ezra, it's bedtime.
But yeah, there was.
Ezra, shh, come here. It is 9:30. It's bedtime. It's way past bedtime, actually. So
The mechanics were very interesting and different. The re-theme is the Girl Genius online comic. Interesting. No, I don't. I never looked into it. It wasn't one that really stood out to me at all. And I didn't see it anywhere handy either, or other people playing it. So I really don't know much about it other than that it existed. One other thing I forgot to mention about the Decipher stuff was that we're buffering, are we?
That's fine. It's fine on my end. I'm looking at
after Decipher was basically had to fold up shop because of their financial woes. They tried to do a relaunch to a different type of marketing strategy for their products, where you could buy Fight Club directly from their website. You could get kilos for the different sets. They had 1, 2, 3, and Black Beauty, different things that came out. And I never tried any of them. But I heard about them, and they had, rights to use a bunch of different characters. So there was some crossover stuff. I think Terminator and RoboCop was maybe in one of them, and a bunch of different characters that you could make interact and battle each other as sort of a crossover type game, which was an interesting concept. But like I said, I don't think it ever really took off for them. Certainly not enough to get them back in black and working as a functional company again. So that's a bit of a shame. The Secret Santa stuff, as far as I know, has already begun, you said, right? She'll be back shortly. She's got more of the details on that than I do. But we are doing Secret Santa stuff. And that will be coming up shortly.
So we started it with Broly's stream. The light's really sorry. We need better lighting. So Broly was the first one to do it. Everybody's doing their thing their own way, but there's 10 of us streamers that we've sent gifts to each other. And that gift, we're going to play games of some sort for the viewers to have a chance to win. And if they win the gift, they can either keep the gift or they can risk not getting anything to win, have 1 in 10 chance of winning the mystery prize at the end. So I don't know if my brain's very, very tired.
Basically, we've all sent random Secret Santa gifts to each other, the 10 different streamers in this group. And
we pitched in for a
there's going to be
mystery
a
prize.
chance for someone in the stream to win the chance to steal it from us,
or take the spot in the final giveaway
for the big draw at the end for
Yeah.
the group. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'd prefer. Do I want the gift, or do I want the chance to win
A bigger gift.
a bigger gift? I don't know. I don't know what I want. Yeah, you could steal the gift from us, and if you keep the gift, then our name gets put in the final giveaway. So the chance.
Yeah. So if you win on our stream, then you get the option to either take whatever our gift was from the Secret Santa exchange, or get your chance for the 1 in 10 draw for the big prize.
Yeah. I hope does that clear that up?
Yeah. So if you take our gift, we don't get it, and we get our chance in the draw. But if you take the chance in the draw, then we get the gift.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So, and then everybody's doing their stream their own way. You know, it's yeah. However they're gonna do it. I was gonna do a separate stream, but the day that I was gonna do it, it's the only day that really our family can get together with us for Christmas. So I'm going to do it on my birthday stream. It's all a mystery until the end. Yeah, you're not gonna know what you're gonna get if you win the mystery prize. I don't even know what the mystery prize is. And whatever we got, we're not opening until the final stream. So even if you guys choose to keep it or we get to keep it, no, we're not opening any gifts until the final stream when we're all together. And then you'll see what you guys gave up, if you gave it up, or, you know, was it worth it? Should everybody just kept the gift and let the streamers battle it out for the final gift? Who knows? So it'll be fun. It's going to be lots of fun. All right, Dunson, you have a good night.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that Secret Santa giveaway is Pokemon, because it's mostly Pokemon streamers. They're the only ones I really know and interact with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard because I don't know. Like, I mean, because it's only 1 in 10 chance at getting the mystery prize, right? If you win the spot in our stream, and you can only win once, so you if you win the gift or the mystery spot, you can't go to other streamers and win their spots too. So, but yeah, do you want a guaranteed gift, or do you want a 1 in 10 chance at an amazing, possibly amazing gift? I don't know.
I don't know. I'd probably take the more certain thing myself because I'm less of a gambler, but that's just me.
Good thing I'm not the one that has to decide.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have to decide. I get to either have my name in it, or we have our name in it, or
yeah, it's good to know it's Pokemon related, at least. Which most of that's all the channels that are collaborating all do Pokemon. So
yeah, some of them do.
Our channel, we like to do a lot of other things, but we're sticking with.
It's only fair, and streamers can't, like, we can't go in somebody else's and try and win either. So that would not be fair.
Yeah,
because we automatically either get to keep the gift or we get our name in the end. Risk everything for door number 3. Or what's in the box? Do you remember those game shows would be like,
oh yes, Wheel of Fish.
I don't even mean that one. I'm talking
what's in the box? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't know what's in my Secret Santa. My Secret Santa gift's right here. It could be something fun. It could be something silly. And who knows? Maybe somebody pulled the fast one and there's nothing Pokemon in there at all.
Mm.
So, oops, Santa's upside down. So, I'm not showing who it's from. I might not even show who it's from until after the person picks if they want to keep it or not.
Same rules for creators. That's really neat. I like that.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't be allowed to, like, I mean, this is something that we're putting on for everybody and
for the community, and just to interact and
it's a way for us
with other channels that's cooperative,
and it's also fun. We get to introduce some of our viewers and other streamers that we watch with other streamers they might not watch. So we have a lot of new connections being built from the Secret Santa thing too. So because I watch lots of different people, I don't watch all the same people everyone else does. So yeah, I do remember him saying who it was from. Why is that downstairs?
I don't know.
Chewbacca has a broken leg.
Yeah, well, that's been for a couple of years.
You never know with him.
One of our Christmas tree ornaments.
Yeah.
Randomly was downstairs.
Yeah. But you never know. There is a basic value for each of our gifts,
Yeah,
though.
we tried to keep a decent, similar range for each one. So.
And then we all donated a portion or a certain amount to the final giveaway. So, yeah. It'll be fun. I like to do stuff like this, so
it should be. Ooh.
I'm looking forward to seeing ALB tomorrow night, see what he's gonna do.
I am getting tired and I have to get up early tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I should probably be heading out soon.
I'm really tired too. I stayed up really late on Broly's stream last night.
Yeah, if anyone didn't see, that was wild.
I couldn't even believe it. He was a little mad at me that I bought the box. He's like, we shouldn't be buying anymore right now. And I'm just like, but I just want one.
And it turned out it was a good one at least.
Yeah. So I wanted to have something because we don't know when we're getting our box that we had traded some bulk in for. So, but no, it was pretty amazing. I had a crazy amount of, did you see my comment about the Canadian Post? I'm not sure if I did. I might have. What is the gift value? I was starting. We're not allowed to tell you guys yet. That we can't tell you the gift value. It's a surprise.
Yeah.
But just know the end of stream giveaway is oh, thank you, Doug. Yeah, that was amazing.
Can't do much better than that.
No, the end of stream giveaway is definitely better than what we're giving out, but I'm not telling you what we're giving out or how much it is.
The pack pull I was referencing though.
Oh, sorry.
That was very nice. One thing I noticed that was a little bit strange though, unfortunate, like I'm not complaining at all. The box was amazing, but I don't think there was a Master Ball in it. Where usually most of the Japanese boxes you get one. So
the strike, yes, there's a chance it could be over, but I'm not gonna hold my breath until it's done. So, and then there could be some complications too, because apparently they're not doing it the way they're supposed to be doing it. So
who knows?
But yeah.
And even once they do get back to work, there's such a backlog now. It's going to take them a month to get everything straightened out anyway. Yeah,
no, they're close to resolving the strike. That's not exactly what's going on. A little more to it than that. But basically, it seems like they will be forced back to work.
The new EV set, there's 3 Riv Hollows
with a
chance of at one being a Master Ball.
Yes.
3 reverse hollows.
But because we got the God Pack, we didn't get a Master Ball in our box.
Yeah.
So, and when I say the God Pack, I mean we got all the evolutions in one pack. Like the big evolutions.
Yeah.
So that was go check out our,
that was amazing.
Go check out our the community post tab. I do have a clip from that, and you can click to see full video, and it'll take you the rest of the video of the pack opening from that spot if you want to check that out. But oh, I can't believe we got that. And I was just, of course, like, I mean, I still want to open some more, but I'm not going to be as, thanks, Dragon Fang.
And someone like the box before, or like maybe 2 before or something.
So there was a demigod pack.
Yeah. So like there was a few good pulls coming out of the batch or whatever. Yeah. So that was interesting.
So, there's definitely some stuff going on with the strike, the Canada Post strike, if that's what you're still talking about, Founder. But there's a lot more than what we know too. But yeah. We should probably call it a night, though. I wonder, you know what? Do we want to go find somebody? We'll probably find somebody.
Not my department.
No.
I'm going to pack up stuff.
Anyways, I won a Master Ball from Stocked this evening. 2 winners failed the claim. I was the third. Oh, well, congratulations. That's nice to win stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is what I've been working on. I really like it. It's fun. It's relaxing. Oops, my lighting's changing. We got a new table today. New to us table. Oops. So we very much needed one. The last table we got was from like,
Well, we got it.
It was new. Well,
17 years ago.
Yeah.
And
When we were expecting Abram, where Abram was a baby.
it was used then, and it's seen a lot of more wear since. So the top surface was really getting rough.
All right, let's see who's live. Do we know who's live right now?
I do not.
No, I know you don't. Blue is live. Oh yes, I have not rated him in a long time. We should do that. I like him. It's been a while. I used to go to stream fairly frequently, and then we started, streaming a lot more, and yeah. This takes me a second to multitask here. Where are you? Why am I not seeing him here? We all had I was one away from the first winner's place, then it came back to me. Nice. Well, congratulations, Founder. That's exciting. Oh, there he is. I see him now. All right. All right. So, thank you guys for hanging out with us. I was just drained. I was so drained today. I had lots of energy, so it took me a while before I was ready to fall asleep. And yeah. So, please head over to, we're going to redirect you guys to All Blues stream there. And hit the like button, give them some love, and make sure you say Spocat Raid or even Secret Santa Spocat Raid, whatever you want to say. Just make sure you give them some love. So, bye everybody. Bye Dragon Fang. I am going to redirect you guys, so if you do want to stick around, that's fine. But we'll see you guys on Monday. So, with whatever our plan is for the Monday Night Magic. And then Thursday is my birthday stream and the Secret Santa stream. So bye for now. Have a good night and appreciate you. Thanks for watching and see you soon.